Kang Tae-jun sat behind his mahogany desk, reviewing acquisition documents with the focused precision that had built his empire. At 45, he controlled one of Seoul's most powerful organizations, half legitimate business, half shadow operations that politicians pretended not to know about. His office occupied the top floor of the Kang Tower, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city he dominated. Everything in this space communicated control: the minimalist furniture, the expensive art, the perfect silence broken only by the scratch of his pen. Tae-jun had spent 25 years building walls around himself: emotional walls, professional walls, physical walls that kept the world at a comfortable distance. He'd had relationships, brief, transactional, ended before they became complicated. He'd had family, a father who'd built the empire, a mother who died young, siblings who'd chosen easier paths. He'd had no one close, by design, by choice, by necessity. Weakness is a liability, his father had taught him. Emotion is exploitable, distance is power. Tae-jun had embraced this completely, become the untouchable man, the one everyone feared and no one really knew. His assistant knocked. Tae-jun didn't look up. "What is it?" "Sir, there's someone here to see you." "I don't have appointments this afternoon. Send them away." "Sir, she's insisting, and she's very young. A child, actually, says it's urgent." Tae-jun's pen paused. A child? In his office? Security should have stopped her. They tried. She was very determined. "Sir, I think you should see her. Something about this feels important." Tae-jun looked up. His assistant's expression was uncertain, nervous. That was unusual. Fine. 2 minutes. Then she leaves. He had no idea those 2 minutes would change his entire life. The girl who walked into Kang Tae-jun's office was perhaps 12 years old, maybe 13. Hard to tell exactly. She wore a simple school uniform, a backpack over one shoulder, and an expression of calm determination that seemed far too mature for her age. She wasn't intimidated by the luxury, wasn't overwhelmed by the space, wasn't frightened by the man behind the desk whose reputation made grown men nervous. She just walked in, stood in front of his desk, made direct eye contact, and waited. Tae-jun studied her. Black, mixed race probably. Korean features mixed with something else. Tall for her age, thin but not frail. Eyes that held an intelligence and sadness that made him uncomfortable. "You have 2 minutes, he said coldly. "Speak." "My name is Maya Kang," the girl said clearly, "and I'm your daughter." The room went completely silent. Tae-jun's assistant, still standing by the door, made a small gasping sound. The 2 bodyguards flanking the office entrance shifted uncomfortably. Tae-jun himself went very still, completely still, the kind of stillness that preceded either violence or control. "That's impossible," he said finally. His voice was ice. "I don't have children." "You didn't know you had children," Maya corrected. "There's a difference. Get out, now, before I have security remove you." "You could do that, but then you'd never know the truth, never know about my mother, never understand why I'm really here." "I don't care why you're here. You're a child making up stories, probably coached by someone trying to extort money. It won't work. I'm not here for money. I'm here because my mother died 3 months ago, and her last wish was that I meet you, that you know I exist, that I at least try." Something in her voice, the way she said "died," the genuine grief underneath the calm. It made Tae-jun pause. "Who was your mother?" "Her name was Amara Chen. You knew her 13 years ago, before I was born, before she left Korea." The name hit Tae-jun like a physical blow. Amara. He hadn't heard that name in over a decade, hadn't let himself think about her in almost as long. Amara Chen, the woman who'd briefly broken through his walls. The relationship he'd ended because it was getting too real, too complicated, too dangerous. "I knew an Amara," Tae-jun admitted carefully. "Years ago. But she left Korea. Went back to America. We ended things cleanly." "Did you?" Maya asked. "Or did you end things and assume she'd just accept it and move on?" "What are you implying?" "I'm saying my mother discovered she was pregnant 2 weeks after you broke up with her. She tried to tell you, called your office 17 times, sent letters, emails, all blocked or returned, so eventually she stopped trying." "That's a lie. If she'd contacted me, your assistant at the time was instructed to screen all communications from her, to ensure you had clean separation after the breakup. Those were your words, according to my mother's diary." Tae-jun felt something crack inside. He remembered that instruction. remembered telling his assistant to block Amara's attempts to contact him. He'd thought she was just trying to prolong the inevitable ending, trying to change his mind. Even if that's true, it doesn't prove you're my daughter. You could be anyone. This could be an elaborate scheme. Maya reached into her backpack, pulled out a folder, set it on his desk. DNA test results. My mother had them done using hair from a brush you left at her apartment 13 years ago. Paternity, 99.97% probability. Also inside, my birth certificate listing father as unknown, photos of my mother pregnant, her diary entries about you, and a letter she wrote explaining everything. Taejun stared at the folder. Didn't touch it. Couldn't touch it. Because touching it made this real. Made this girl real. Made the possibility that he'd unknowingly abandoned his own child real. Why now? He asked quietly. Why come here now, after all these years? Because my mother made me promise. She didn't want your money. Didn't want to disrupt your life. Just wanted you to know I existed, that's all. I keep my promises to my mother, even after she's gone. A tear rolled down Maya's cheek. Just one. But it was real. Genuine. The grief of a child who'd lost her only parent, and Taejun felt something he hadn't felt in decades. Genuine emotion, breaking through every wall he'd built. Taejun picked up the folder with hands that trembled slightly, opened it. Inside were the documents Maya had described. DNA results, birth certificate, photographs. He saw Amara in the photos, pregnant, glowing despite obvious struggle, smiling at the camera with a hand on her swollen belly. Beautiful. Exactly as he remembered. The diary entries were worse, written in Amara's familiar handwriting, dated from 13 years ago. I tried calling again today. His assistant said he's unavailable. I think he's instructed them to block me. I don't know what to do. I'm pregnant with his child, and he doesn't know. Won't let me tell him. Maybe it's better this way. Maybe he wouldn't want this anyway. Another entry, weeks later. I've decided to keep the baby, go back to Atlanta, raise her alone. Kang Taejun made his choice. He chose his empire over relationships, over me. I have to accept that. But I won't let my daughter grow up thinking she wasn't wanted. I'll love her enough for both parents. More entries. About the pregnancy, the birth, naming the baby Maya, struggling as a single mother, never once speaking badly about Taejun. Just sad acceptance of circumstances. The letter was addressed to him, written recently based on the paper and pen. Kang Taejung, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and Maya found the courage to find you. I never told you about her because you made it impossible. But I want you to know she's brilliant, kind, strong, everything good about both of us. I don't expect anything from you. Not money, not acknowledgement, not a relationship. I just want you to know she exists. That 13 years ago, we created something beautiful. And that even though you never knew her, you have a daughter who is extraordinary. Whether you choose to be part of her life is up to you. But please, don't blame her for my choices. She deserves better than that. Amara. Taejun set down the letter, looked at Maya, really looked at her, and saw it. The resemblance, his eyes, his nose, his serious expression, mixed with Amara's warmth, Amara's strength. This girl was his daughter, genetically, biologically, undeniably. How did your mother die? He asked quietly. Maya's composure cracked slightly. Cancer, pancreatic, stage 4 by the time they found it. She had 6 months, fought for 8, wanted to see me turn 13. And did she? By 2 days. The grief in those words was profound. This child had watched her mother die, slowly, painfully. I'm sorry, Taejun said. Meant it. Thank you. Where have you been living since she died? With my aunt temporarily. He'd set my mother's sister in Atlanta, but she has 4 kids of her own. Not much space, not much money. I'm managing. Managing how? I don't want to talk about that. I'm not here for a rescue, just for the truth. My mother wanted you to know about me. Now you know. I've kept my promise to her. Maya picked up her backpack, started to leave. Wait, Taejun said. She stopped. You can't just walk in here, tell me I have a daughter, and walk out. Why not? You were ready to throw me out 60 seconds ago. Now you want me to stay? I want to understand, to process this, to figure out what it means. It means you have a daughter you never knew about. That's what it means. What you do with that information is up to you. I'm not asking for anything. Aren't you? You came all the way to Korea, found my office, got past security. That took planning, effort. You want something. Maya turned back, and for the first time, Taejun saw anger. I want my mother back. I want the last 13 years to be different. I want to have grown up with a father who gave a damn. But I can't have any of that. So no, I don't want anything from you. I just wanted you to know I exist, that you have a daughter, that your choices had consequences. That's all. That's not fair. Life's not fair. My mother died at 35. I'm 13 and orphaned. You're rich and powerful and never knew you had a kid. None of it's fair, but it's real, and now you have to deal with it. Taejun had faced down rivals, negotiated billion-dollar deals, made life-and-death decisions without flinching. But this 12-year-old girl, standing in his office with tears and rage and grief, was the most formidable opponent he'd ever encountered. "Don't leave," he said quietly. "Please, let's talk, really talk, about your mother, about you, about what happens next." "Why? Why does it matter now?" "Because you're right. You're my daughter, and I didn't know, and that's my fault, and I want to fix it." "You can't fix 13 years. No, but maybe I can fix today, and tomorrow, and the day after, if you'll let me try." Maya hesitated. "I'm not staying in Korea permanently. My life is in Atlanta." "I understand, but maybe we can figure something out. Something that honors your mother's wish, that lets us know each other, that gives us both a chance." "A chance at what?" "I don't know. Family? Connection? Something real?" Maya looked at him, wary, hopeful, scared. "One conversation. That's all I'm promising. That's all I'm asking." Taejun dismissed his staff, told his assistant to hold all calls, closed the office doors. For the first time in 25 years, he cleared his schedule for something personal. Maya sat across from him, not in a visitor's chair, but in the comfortable seating area by the windows. Less formal, less intimidating. "Tell me about your mother," Taejun said. "What was she like after she left Korea?" Maya's expression softened. "She was amazing, strong. She worked 2 jobs while I was little, went to nursing school at night, eventually became a nurse practitioner. We didn't have much money, but she made sure I had everything I needed." "Was she happy?" "Mostly. She loved her work, loved me, had good friends. But I think part of her was always a little sad. About you, about how things ended. She tried to hide it, but I noticed. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt her." "But you did. You ended things and then made it impossible for her to contact you. That hurt her deeply, made her feel disposable. I thought I was protecting her. My world is dangerous. Relationships are liabilities. People close to me become targets." "So you chose loneliness over risk?" "Yes, I've lived that way for 25 years. And has it made you happy?" The question was direct, unflinching. No child should be asking an adult this. But Maya wasn't a normal child. Loss had matured her. "No," Taejun admitted. "It hasn't, but it's kept me alive, kept me in control, kept me safe." "Safe from what? Connection, love, being human?" "All of that." "That's sad. My mother told me that being alone isn't the same as being safe, that sometimes the greatest risk is worth taking. She took that risk with you, got hurt, but never regretted it because it gave her me." "She sounds wise. She was. I don't know. It's weird talking about her in past tense." Maya's voice broke. Taejun felt something inside him crack wider. This child had lost everything, her mother, her home, her stability, and she'd come to him, a stranger, because of a promise. "What do you need, Maya? Really need? Not what you think you should say, what you actually need." "I need someone to care that I exist. My aunt is nice, but I'm a burden, 4 kids of her own and barely enough money. I sleep on the couch, stay quiet, try not to be trouble, but I'm alone. Even surrounded by people, I'm alone." "You don't have to be alone. Not anymore." "What does that mean?" "It means I'm your father, and I didn't know you existed, but now I do, and I want to fix that. Want to be part of your life, however you'll let me." "Why? Because you feel guilty?" "Yes, but also because you're extraordinary. You walked into my office, faced me down, spoke truth, and didn't flinch. You're brave and smart and everything your mother said you were, and I want to know you, want to be someone you can count on." "I don't need a father. I'm 13. I've managed without one this long." "Maybe, but that doesn't mean you should have to keep managing alone." Maya looked at him, really looked, searching for something. Truth, sincerity, safety? "What are you offering?" "I don't know yet, but let's figure it out, together." Over the next 2 hours, they talked, really talked. Taejun learned about Maya's life, her school, her friends, her love of science, her dream of becoming a doctor like her mother. Maya learned about Taejun's business, his empire, his isolated life, the man behind the reputation. "You're lonely," Maya observed. "Yes, by choice, by necessity, or so I thought. And now I'm questioning everything. You're proof that my choices had consequences I never imagined, that walls I built to protect myself hurt someone I should have protected. My mother, your mother, and you, if I'd known, but you didn't. And we can't change that, can only deal with now." "What do you want from now?" Maya thought carefully. "I want to know you, not your reputation, not your power. You, the person my mother loved, the person who made her smile in those old photos, the person who might be worth knowing despite everything. That's a tall order. I'm not sure that person exists anymore." "He must, somewhere, or you wouldn't be having this conversation. The man everyone fears would have thrown me out. You let me stay. That means something. It means you're my daughter, and that matters." "Does it, or does it just complicate your life?" "Both, but I'm choosing complication, choosing to know you, choosing to try." "Try what?" "To be your father. I don't know how. I've never been anyone's father, but I want to learn, want to figure it out, if you're willing to be patient with me." "I don't know if I can do that, trust you, after you abandoned my mother. I didn't know I was abandoning her, or you. I thought I was making a clean break, protecting her from my world. I was wrong, completely wrong, but I wasn't intentionally cruel. Just unintentionally cruel, that's better? No, it's not, but it's honest. I made terrible choices, hurt someone I cared about, created a child I never knew, and I'm sorry, deeply, genuinely sorry. Not because it's convenient, because it's true." Maya studied him. "You mean that?" "Yes. You actually regret it, more than you can possibly understand. Good, because if you didn't, I'd leave. But since you do, maybe we can try, carefully, slowly, no promises beyond trying." "That's all I'm asking." They sat in silence, both processing, both wondering what they'd started. Outside, Seoul's lights began twinkling as evening approached. Inside, two strangers connected by biology began the slow, painful, hopeful process of becoming something more. Something real. Something like family. That evening, Taejun couldn't focus on work. His mind kept drifting back 13 years. To Amara. He'd met her at a charity gala. She'd been working as an event coordinator. Brilliant at her job. Beautiful. Funny. Real in a way most people in his world weren't. They'd started talking. One conversation became many. Dinners, walks, late-night talks. For 6 months, Taejun had felt something he'd never experienced. Connection. Real connection. But then his world had gotten dangerous. A rival organization made moves. Threats were issued. People close to him became targets. Taejun had panicked, ended things with Amara abruptly, told her it wasn't working, that they wanted different things, that she should go back to America, find someone better. She'd been devastated, argued, asked why, begged for a real explanation. He'd given her nothing, just cold dismissal, then instructed his assistant to block her calls, to return her letters, to ensure clean separation. He'd thought he was protecting her, saving her from being used against him. Instead, he'd abandoned her, pregnant, alone, trying desperately to tell him something important. And she'd raised their daughter without him, for 13 years. Alone. "I'm a monster," Taejun whispered to his empty penthouse. His phone rang. Maya. She'd given him her number before leaving the office. "Hello. Hi, it's me, Maya. I wanted to say thank you for listening today, for not throwing me out, for seeming like you actually care." "I do care, very much." "Good, because I'm scared. I came to Korea on my last money. My aunt doesn't know I'm here. I have nowhere to stay, and I'm starting to realize how stupid this was." "You're not stupid. You're brave. Where are you now?" "A youth hostel near Hongdae. It's cheap, safe enough. I'll figure something out tomorrow." "No, give me the address. I'm sending a car. You're staying somewhere better." "I don't want your money. I'm not giving you money. I'm giving you safety. There's a difference. Please let me do this." "Okay, but just for tonight. Tomorrow, I figure out my actual plan." Tomorrow, we figure out the plan. Together. Within the hour, Maya was in a luxury hotel. Taejun had arranged a suite. Meals, everything she needed. He wanted to be there himself, to talk more, to understand her better. But instinct told him to go slow, to not overwhelm her, to let her process. So he stayed in his penthouse, stared at photos of Amara, and grieved for the woman he'd loved and lost, for the 13 years he'd missed, for the daughter he'd never known, and vowed that whatever time he had left, he'd be the father Maya deserved. Even if he had to learn from scratch, even if it meant changing everything about his life, even if it terrified him, because she was his daughter, and that mattered more than anything else. The next morning, Taejun cleared his entire day, met Maya for breakfast at the hotel. "How did you sleep?" "Better than I have in months. That bed is amazing, way better than my aunt's couch." "Good, I'm glad." "Thank you for this. I know I said I don't want money, but having a safe place to sleep, it helps." "You're welcome. Now we need to talk about logistics." "Logistics. You can't go back to Atlanta and sleep on a couch. That's not acceptable." "I don't have other options. My mother's apartment was rented. When she died, everything was sold to pay medical bills. I have some clothes, some books, and about $300 left. That's it." "What about your aunt? Would she take you permanently?" "She doesn't have space or money. She's been clear about that. I can stay temporarily, but she's already struggling. Adding another kid isn't feasible long term." "Then you have other options." "Like what?" "Like staying here, with me, in Korea." Maya stared. "That's insane. Why?" "Because I don't know you, because my life is in Atlanta, because we just met yesterday, because everything about this is crazy." "True, but it's also practical. I have resources, space, the ability to give you stability, education, a future. I don't want charity. It's not charity. You're my daughter. Taking care of you is my responsibility. One I should have had 13 years ago but didn't because I didn't know. Now I know. Now I can actually be your father." Being a father is more than just money and resources. I know, it's also time, attention, care, being present. I want to do all that, want to learn how, want to make up for lost time. "You can't make up for 13 years. "No, but I can make the next 13 count, and the 13 after that, and however many we have, if you'll let me." Maya looked torn, hopeful and scared and uncertain. "This is a huge decision. I can't just uproot my entire life." "I'm not asking you to decide right now. I'm asking you to think about it, to consider possibilities, to let me prove I'm serious about being part of your life." "How would you even prove that?" "By showing up, by being consistent, by putting you first even when it's inconvenient, by being the father you deserved all along." "That's a big promise. I'm aware, but I'm making it anyway, because you're worth it, because I've wasted 13 years, because I refuse to waste any more." Maya was quiet. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything. Do you actually want me, or do you just feel guilty?" "With both. But the guilt is driving me to action. The want is making me care about the outcome. I want to know you, Maya, want to be your father, want to give you the stability your mother would have wanted you to have." "My mother wanted me to meet you, not necessarily to live with you." "True, but circumstances changed. She died. You're alone. I'm not. Why shouldn't I help?" "Because it's weird and complicated, and I don't know if I can trust you." Those are all valid concerns, which is why I'm not demanding an answer today, just asking you to think about it. "Okay, I'll think about it." Word spread through Taejun's organization quickly. The boss had a daughter, hidden, unknown, suddenly present. Everyone was shocked, confused, uncertain how to react. His second-in-command, Park, confronted him. "Sir, is this true? You have a daughter?" "Yes." "How is that possible? You've never mentioned." "Because I didn't know. Her mother never told me. Circumstances prevented communication. I learned yesterday, when she walked into my office." "And you believe her? This could be a scheme. DNA test, documents, photos, her mother's diary. It's all legitimate. She's mine." That's complicated. Extremely. What are you going to do? Be her father. Figure out what that means. Give her the stability she deserves." "Sir, with respect, that's a security nightmare. A child? Connected to you? Every enemy will see her as leverage. Then we protect her. Completely. Permanently. No exceptions." "That's not realistic. Children are vulnerable. Unpredictable. You can't control every variable." "I don't need to control variables. I need to protect my daughter. That's non-negotiable. This is going to change everything. Your routine, your security, your entire life." "Good. My life needed changing. I've been alone and miserable for 25 years. Maybe having a daughter will fix that. Or it'll get her killed. Then I'll kill anyone who threatens her. Problem solved." Park stared. "You're serious. Completely. You've changed. In 24 hours. just from meeting her. Because she's real, and she's mine, and I've missed 13 years. I'm not missing any more. What does she want? To be seen, to matter, to have someone care that she exists. That's it. No schemes, no manipulation, just a kid who lost her mother and wants connection. And you're providing that? I'm trying. Don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm trying. That's more human than I've seen you in 15 years. She brings it out, makes me remember who I was before this life consumed me, before I became the untouchable man, before I built walls so high I forgot what connection felt like. And you want that back? The humanity? The vulnerability? Yes, desperately, even if it's dangerous, even if it changes everything. Because what's the point of power if you have no one to share it with? What's the point of success if you die alone? You really care about her. She's my daughter. Of course I care. No, I mean really care. Not just obligation. Actual emotion. Yes, I didn't think I could feel this anymore, but she walked into my office, told me who she was, and something inside me that's been dead for decades came back to life. What happens now? Now I figure out how to be a father, and how to keep her safe, and how to make up for 13 years of absence, and how to honor the woman who raised her alone. That's what happens now. That afternoon, Maya called. I've been thinking about your offer, about staying in Korea. And I have questions, a lot of questions. Ask them, all of them. Where would I live if I stayed? With me. I have a penthouse, plenty of space, or if you prefer privacy, we could get you your own place nearby with supervision. I'm 13. I need supervision. Then you'd stay with me. I'd hire staff, make sure you're safe, comfortable, have everything you need. What about school? Best international school in Seoul, English language, American curriculum. I'd enroll you immediately. What about my aunt? My stuff in Atlanta? We'd fly you back, get your belongings, say proper goodbyes, make sure she understands you're cared for, then bring you here permanently. What about summers, breaks? Can I visit Atlanta? Of course, as often as you want. This isn't prison, it's family. What about your work? You're busy, important. You can't just drop everything for a kid. Watch me. I've spent 25 years prioritizing business. Time to prioritize something else, someone else, you. But what if it doesn't work? What if we don't get along? What if I hate it here? Then we adjust, figure something else out. But we try first, give it a real chance. What do you say? I'm scared. Me too. You, the big scary mafia boss, is scared? Terrified of failing you, of not being enough, of messing this up. But I'm doing it anyway, because you're worth the fear. Maya was quiet. My mother would have liked this. You trying, you caring. She always said you were good underneath the walls, that you just needed someone to believe in you. She was generous. I didn't deserve her belief. Maybe not then, but maybe you deserve a second chance now, to be who she thought you could be. Is that a yes? You'll stay? It's a maybe. Let me think about it. Overnight. I'll give you an answer tomorrow. Fair enough. Take all the time you need. Thank you for everything, for listening, for caring, for being human. Thank you for giving me the chance, for seeing past the reputation, for believing I can be better. You already are better. You just needed a reason. I'm glad I could be that reason. The call ended. Taejun sat in his office, feeling something foreign. Hope. Real hope. That maybe, just maybe, he could fix this. Could be the father Maya deserved. Could build something real. Something good. Something that made the last 25 years of isolation worth it. Because now he had purpose. Beyond power, beyond control, beyond empire. He had a daughter. And that changed everything. That night, Taejun couldn't sleep. Kept thinking about Amara, about what she'd gone through. Alone, pregnant, trying to reach him, being blocked at every turn, finally giving up. Raising Maya by herself, working multiple jobs, going to school at night, building a life, never speaking badly about him, just accepting circumstances and moving forward with grace. She'd been extraordinary, and he'd never known. He pulled out his phone, looked at the photos Maya had given him. Amara smiling. Amara with baby Maya. Amara at Maya's school events. Amara sick but still smiling, loving her daughter until the end. I'm sorry, Taejun whispered to the photos. I'm so sorry. I should have known, should have been there, should have been the partner you deserved, the father Maya needed. I failed you both, going to be who you believed I could be, going to take care of our daughter the way you did. I promise. His phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Kang? This is Dr. Patricia Williams. I was Amara's oncologist. Maya asked me to call you. Is something wrong? Is Maya okay? She's fine, physically, but she asked me to share some things her mother wanted you to know. Things Amara told me in her final days. Things she was too proud to tell you herself but wanted you to understand after she was gone. Please, tell me. Amara loved you, never stopped. She told me that 13 years ago, she'd met someone who made her feel alive, who saw her, who valued her mind and spirit, not just her appearance. She said ending things with you broke her heart, but she understood. She knew your world was dangerous, that caring about her put her at risk. She didn't blame you for choosing distance, just mourned what could have been. Taejun felt tears. She should have blamed me. I was cruel, cowardly. She saw it differently, said you were protecting her the only way you knew how, that in your world, distance was love, absence was safety. She didn't agree with it, but she understood it. That's generous. She was generous. Even dying, she worried more about Maya than herself. Wanted to make sure Maya understood you weren't a villain, just someone caught between worlds, someone who'd made hard choices, someone worth knowing despite everything. Why are you telling me this? Because Maya needs to hear it from someone other than her mother's memory. She needs to know Amara didn't hate you, didn't want her to hate you, wanted her to give you a chance, to see who you really are, not who everyone says you are. I don't deserve that, any of that. Maybe not, but you have it anyway. Amara's forgiveness, her understanding, her hope that you'd be the father Maya deserves. Don't waste it. I won't, I promise. I'll be everything Amara hoped I could be. Everything Maya needs. Good, because that child has been through enough, lost enough. Don't add to her pain. I'll protect her, always. See that you do. The call ended. Taejun sat in darkness, processing, grieving, hoping. Amara had forgiven him, had wanted Maya to know him, had believed, even dying, that he was worth a second chance. He wouldn't waste it. The next morning, Maya called. I've made my decision. Okay, I'll stay in Korea with you, but with conditions. Name them. First, I get to visit Atlanta. Regularly. My aunt, my friends, my mother's grave. That's non-negotiable. Agreed, as often as you want. Second, I'm not changing my name. I'm Maya Chen, not Maya Kang. My mother's name matters. Understood. Maya Chen it is. Third, if this doesn't work, if you're not actually present, if you're just providing money but no time, if you're not really my father, I get to leave. No guilt, no pressure, just clean separation. That's fair, but I'll make sure it doesn't come to that. Fourth, you don't hide me. I'm not a secret. I'm your daughter. If that's complicated for your business or reputation, deal with it. But I won't be hidden. You'll never be hidden. I'm proud you're my daughter. Everyone will know. Fifth, you tell me the truth. About your business, about the dangers, about your world. I'm not stupid. I know what you do. Don't treat me like a child who can't handle reality. I'll be honest. Always, even when it's hard. Good, then I'll stay. We'll try this, see if it works. Thank you for giving me this chance. I won't waste it. You better not. My mother believed in you. I'm choosing to believe in you too. Don't make us wrong. I'll spend every day proving you're right, I promise. When do we start? Today. Pack your things. I'm sending a car. We're going to Atlanta. Getting your belongings, saying proper goodbyes, then coming back to Seoul, together. You're coming with me to Atlanta? Of course, you're my daughter. You shouldn't have to handle this alone. Plus, I want to see where you grew up, where your mother raised you. Want to understand your world. That's really nice. Thank you. You're welcome. This is what fathers do. Show up, be present, support their children. I'm learning, but I'll get better. I believe you. 3 days later, they were in Atlanta. Maya showed him her mother's favorite places, the hospital where she'd worked, the park where they'd walked, the grave where she was buried. Taejun stood at Amara's grave. Read the headstone. Amar Chen, beloved mother, extraordinary woman, forever remembered. I'm sorry, he said to the stone. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Sorry I didn't know. Sorry for everything. But I promise, I'll take care of our daughter. Give her the life you wanted for her. Be the father you both deserved. I promise. Maya stood beside him, crying. Taejun put his arm around her. She leaned into him, and for the first time in her life, Maya had a father. Really had one. Present, caring, real. It was everything Amara had hoped for, everything Maya had needed. and the beginning of something neither of them expected. Family. Back in Seoul, Maya moved into Taejun's penthouse. He'd converted a guest room into her space, asked what she wanted, let her decorate, made it hers. "This is too much," Maya said, looking at the new furniture, the supplies, the space. "It's what you deserve. I've never had this much space, or this nice stuff. Get used to it. You're my daughter. You'll have everything you need, and most things you want, within reason." What's within reason? No sports cars until you're 18. No credit cards without limits. No making deals with my business associates. Those are weirdly specific rules. I'm learning as I go, making it up. Tell me if I'm doing it wrong. You're doing fine, better than fine. You're actually trying. That matters more than getting everything perfect. Good, because I'm terrified of messing this up. Me too. What if I'm not what you expected? What if I'm disappointing, impossible? You're brilliant and brave and everything your mother said you were. You could never disappoint me. Even if I'm difficult, teenagers are supposed to be difficult. Then be difficult. Test boundaries. Push back. Be human. I can handle it. Promise? Promise. They settled into a routine. Breakfast together, school for Maya, work for Taejun, evening together, homework, dinner, talking, just being. It was so normal, so domestic, so completely foreign to everything Taejun had known. And he loved it. Loved having someone to come home to. Loved hearing about Maya's day. Loved being needed. Being important for reasons beyond power. But not everyone was happy about the change. His organization had concerns. His rivals saw opportunity. His entire world was shifting, and not everyone liked it. One evening, Park approached a situation. Someone's been asking questions about Maya, about her school, her routine. Who? We don't know yet, but someone's interested. That's dangerous. Then increase her security. Triple it. No one gets near her. Sir, that makes her more visible. Confirms she's important. Makes her a bigger target. I don't care. She is important, and I'll burn down anyone who threatens her. Make that clear. To everyone. My daughter is untouchable. Consequences for threatening her are absolute. You're declaring war over a child you've known 2 weeks. I'm protecting my family. That's not war. That's basic humanity. In our world, family is weakness. Then our world needs to change, and I'm starting with myself. This is dangerous. Living is dangerous. Loving is dangerous. Being human is dangerous. I'm doing it anyway. Why? Because I've spent 25 years being safe, being isolated, being powerful, and I was miserable every single day. 2 weeks with Maya, and I feel more alive than I have in decades. That's worth protecting, worth any risk. Even if it costs you everything, especially then, because what's everything worth if I have no one to share it with? The pieces started falling into place too precisely to ignore. Maya's arrival, the timing, the questions being asked. Someone was orchestrating something. Taejun called an emergency meeting, assembled his top people. Someone's moving against us, using Maya as the angle. I want to know who, and I want to know now. His intelligence chief spoke up. Sir, we've identified the source. It's the Choi family. They learned about Maya, see her as leverage. They're planning something. What kind of something? We don't know specifics, but they're gathering information, building a file, preparing for an operation. Against Maya? Possibly, or against you through Maya. Either way, she's at risk. Taejun felt ice in his veins. Recommendations? We could move her. Different location, different identity, keep her hidden. No, I won't hide her. Won't make her live in fear. Then we go offensive, neutralize the Choi family before they make their move. That starts a war. Protecting your daughter starts a war. The question is whether you're willing to fight it. Taejun didn't hesitate. I'm willing. Do what needs to be done. Protect Maya. Remove the threat. No mercy. Sir, think about what you're saying. I've thought about it. My daughter's safety is non-negotiable. Anyone who threatens her faces complete destruction. That's my final word. What about Maya? Does she know about this? No, and I'm not telling her. Not yet. Not until the threat is handled. That's a secret. You promised honesty. I'm protecting her. There's a difference. Is there? Or are you making the same choices you made with her mother, deciding what she can and can't handle, keeping her in the dark for her own good? The words hit hard. Park was right. What do you suggest? Tell her. Give her the choice. Let her decide if she wants this life, this danger, this reality. Don't make decisions for her. She's 13. She's also the girl who flew to Korea alone. Found your office, faced you down. She's stronger than you think. Treat her like it. Taejun knew Park was right. He found Maya in her room, doing homework. We need to talk about something serious. She looked up. Okay, what's wrong? There's a threat against you. People who want to use you to hurt me. I need you to understand what that means. What staying here means. I already knew your world was dangerous. Knowing abstractly is different from being targeted specifically. Maya, if you stay, you'll have security, guards, restrictions, risk. Is that a life you want? Is it a life where I have a father who cares about me? Yes. Then yes, I want it. I'll handle the danger if it means having family. You're sure? Completely. My mother raised me to be strong, to handle hard things. This is hard, but it's worth it. Okay, then we handle it. Together. The realization hit Taejun late that night. Maya wasn't just his daughter biologically. She was his daughter in every way that mattered. Her strength, her directness, her refusal to back down, her willingness to face danger for connection. She was like him. The good parts he'd forgotten existed. The parts Amara had seen and loved. The parts he'd buried under years of isolation. She's mine, he whispered. Really mine, not just DNA. Everything. The next morning, he made a decision. He called Maya into his office at home. I want to do something, and I need your permission. Okay? I want to legally adopt you, make you my daughter officially, not just biologically, give you my name, my protection, my everything. Make it permanent. But I said I wanted to keep my mother's name. You can, Maya Chen Kang, both names, both parents, both legacies. You don't have to choose. Really? Really. I want the world to know you're mine. Want you to have legal rights, inheritance, protection, everything. What do you say? Maya had tears in her eyes. Yes, I want that. Want to be officially yours. Want the permanence. Want to belong somewhere, to someone. Then it's done. I'll have lawyers start paperwork immediately. Thank you for everything, for being my father, for trying so hard, for caring so much. Thank you for giving me the chance, for seeing past my reputation, for believing I could be better. You've changed my life, Maya, completely. Good, you've changed mine too, in the best way. They hugged, father and daughter. Official soon, real already. That afternoon, Taejun's team reported success. The Choi family has backed down. We made it clear the cost of threatening Maya. They've withdrawn their interest. Completely? Completely. Message received. She's untouchable. Good. Maintain vigilance anyway, but thank you. That evening, Taejun and Maya had dinner. Just the two of them. Normal conversation about school, friends, life. I have a science fair project coming up, Maya said. Can you help? I don't know anything about science. That's okay. I just need someone to bounce ideas off, to help me think through the project. Then yes, absolutely. What's the project about? I want to study how stress affects the immune system. In honor of my mother, she was a nurse, always talked about mind-body connection. That's beautiful and brilliant. She'd be proud. I hope so. I miss her every day. I know. I wish I'd known her better. Wish I'd had more time with her. Wish I hadn't wasted what time we had. You can't change the past, only learn from it. When did you get so wise? I had a good teacher. My mother taught me a lot about resilience, forgiveness, moving forward. She'd want us to be happy, to build something good, to honor her by living well. Then that's what we'll do. Live well, together. Together, Maya agreed. And for the first time in 25 years, Taejun felt complete. Not because of power, not because of success, but because of connection. Family. Love. A 13-year-old girl had walked into his office, changed everything, given him purpose beyond empire, shown him what really mattered, and he would spend the rest of his life being worthy of that gift. Being the father she deserved, being the man Amara had believed he could be, being human again. Finally. The internal struggle came at night. When Maya was asleep and Taejun sat alone with his thoughts, he'd spent 25 years building an empire, becoming someone powerful and feared. Now he was becoming someone's father. Someone soft enough to care, vulnerable enough to love. And part of him was terrified. What if I fail her? He asked the darkness. What if I'm not enough? What if my world destroys her despite my best efforts? But another part of him, the part that had been dormant for decades, answered back. What if you don't fail? What if you're exactly what she needs? What if love is enough to protect her? He thought about Amara, about how she'd raised Maya alone, with far fewer resources, far less protection, but infinite love. And Maya had turned out extraordinary. Maybe love was enough. Maybe trying was enough. Maybe being present mattered more than being perfect. I'll try, Taejun promised the darkness. Every day, I'll try to be enough. The next morning, he approached Maya differently. Not as a boss making decisions, as a father asking questions. What do you need from me? Really need? Not what you think I want to hear. What you actually need. Maya thought about it. I need you to be real. To not hide behind the powerful businessman persona. To let me see you. The person my mother loved. The person who's scared and trying. That person. That's vulnerable. That's human. And that's what I need. Not perfect, not powerful, just human. I can do that. It's terrifying, but I can do it. Good, because I'm human too. I'm going to make mistakes, be difficult sometimes, test boundaries, and I need you to handle that, to be consistent, to not give up when it gets hard. I won't give up, ever. You're stuck with me now. Promise? Promise. They shook hands, sealed the deal, father and daughter, committed, real. That week, Maya tested him. Stayed out past curfew, didn't answer calls, came home defiant. Taejun wanted to react with anger, with control, with the authoritarian approach that had served him in business. Instead, he took a breath. You scared me when you didn't answer. When you were late, I was worried. I'm fine. I was just with friends. I understand, but we have rules for your safety. When you break them, I need to respond. Not because I'm angry, because I'm responsible for you. What are you going to do? Ground me? Yes, for 1 week. No going out except school. We have dinner together every night. You think about why rules exist. I think about how to communicate better. That's it? No yelling? No dramatic speeches? Would you prefer yelling? No, but I expected it. Most adults yell when they're upset. I'm not most adults, and you're not most kids. We're figuring this out together. That means communication, not confrontation. Maya softened. I'm sorry. I should have called. I just wanted to feel normal, like a regular kid without bodyguards and restrictions. I understand. And we'll work on finding balance between safety and freedom, between protection and normalcy. Okay? Okay. Now tell me about your day. The real day. What happened that made you want to stay out late? And Maya did. Opened up. Shared. Trusted. Because Taejun had responded with humanity instead of authority. With understanding instead of anger. With love instead of control. It was a small moment, but it mattered. It built trust. It showed Maya that her father was real, present, trying, and it showed Taejun that vulnerability wasn't weakness, connection wasn't liability, love wasn't dangerous. It was the most important thing he'd ever done. The full truth revealed itself gradually through conversations, documents, Maya's memories. Amara had known exactly who Taejun was when she got involved with him, had understood the risks, the danger, the impossibility, but she'd loved him anyway. Loved the person underneath the reputation, the man who'd shown her gentleness, intelligence, unexpected humor. She wrote about you in her diary, Maya said one evening. They were going through boxes of Amara's things Maya had brought from Atlanta. What did she say? That you were the most complicated person she'd ever met. That you had walls so high she couldn't see over them. But sometimes when you forgot to be the boss, you were kind, funny, real. She fell in love with that person. Not the powerful one, the real one. I wish I'd been that person more often. She said you tried, that when you were together, you let your guard down, let her in. It was only when you were apart, dealing with your world, that the walls went back up. That's accurate. I compartmentalized, tried to keep her separate from everything else, safe from my reality. But you couldn't, not really. Your worlds collided, and instead of figuring out how to merge them, you chose distance. Yes, I was a coward. You were scared. There's a difference. Not much of one. Maybe, but my mother forgave you, so I can, too. You don't have to forgive me just because she did. I'm not. I'm choosing to forgive you because I see you trying, because you're being the father I need, because you're proving you can be better. That deserves forgiveness. Thank you. That means everything. They kept going through the boxes, found photos, letters, mementos. She kept this, Maya said, holding up a shirt. What is it? Your shirt, from 13 years ago. You left it at her apartment. She kept it, slept in it when she was pregnant, said it made her feel less alone. Taejun felt tears. She should have told me about the pregnancy, about you. I would have helped. Would you? Really? Or would you have panicked and pushed her away harder? I don't know. Honestly, I want to say I would have stepped up, been there. But knowing who I was then, I might have made it worse. She thought about telling you, after I was born. Thought maybe seeing me would change things, but she decided against it. Decided you'd made your choice, and she needed to respect it, even if it hurt. That took incredible strength. She was incredibly strong, raised me alone, worked constantly, never complained, just loved me and built a life for us. She was amazing. I wish I'd known her better, longer, wish I hadn't wasted our time together. You can honor her now, by being my father, by being who she believed you could be, by making her sacrifice worth it. What sacrifice? Raising me alone, not telling you, protecting you from a complication you didn't know about, loving you enough to let you go. That was her sacrifice. Make it mean something. I will, I promise, every day for the rest of my life. The life-altering decision came 6 months after Maya had walked into his office. Taejun stood at another crossroads. His organization needed him, expected him, demanded his attention, but Maya needed him too, and he couldn't do both. Not fully, not the way both deserved. He called a meeting. I'm stepping back from active leadership. Park will take over day-to-day operations. I'll consult, advise, but I won't be running things anymore. Shock, disbelief, concern. Sir, why? We need you. The organization needs you. I need something else, someone else. I have a daughter now, a real relationship, a chance to be human, and I can't do that while running an empire. So I'm choosing family over power, connection over control, being a father over being a boss. That's insane. You've spent 25 years building this, and I'll spend the next 25 being a father, being present, being someone my daughter can be proud of. That's worth more than any empire. What if the organization falls apart without you? It won't. Park is capable. You're all capable. You don't need me to micromanage. And honestly, stepping back is better. Gives you room to grow. Gives me room to live. And this is about the girl. This is about my daughter. And yes, she's the reason. She walked into my office 6 months ago and changed everything. Showed me what I'd been missing. What really matters. And I'm not letting her down. Not like I let her mother down. What if she doesn't appreciate the sacrifice? Then I'll have tried, given my best, been present. That's more than I did for her first 13 years. It's the least I can do now. The meeting ended, the transition began. And for the first time in 25 years, Taejun's calendar had space for school events, for homework help, for dinner conversations, for being a father. Maya noticed immediately. You're home more. I am. Stepped back from work, wanted more time with you. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. You're only going to be young once. I already missed 13 years. I'm not missing anymore. Thank you. That means a lot. You mean a lot. More than any business, any empire, any success. You're what matters. I love you, Dad. First time she'd said it, really said it, meant it. I love you too, Maya. So much. They hugged. Father and daughter. Real. Permanent. Everything Amara had hoped for. Everything they both deserved. And Taejun realized this was the decision. The one that mattered. Not stepping back from business, but stepping forward into family. Into vulnerability. Into love. That was the choice that changed everything. 1 year after Maya had walked into his office, Taejun threw her a birthday party. 14 years old. Surrounded by friends. Happy. Thriving. Living. He watched from the side. Grateful. Amazed. Humbled. She's doing well, Park observed, standing beside him. She is, better than I could have hoped. You did that, gave her stability, love, a home. Her mother did most of it. I'm just finishing what Amara started. Don't diminish your role. You've transformed, become someone completely different. All for her. Because of her, she gave me purpose beyond power, showed me what really matters. And what's that? Connection, family, being someone worth loving. That's what matters. Everything else is just noise. Maya ran over. Dad, come meet my friends. Now? Yes, now. They want to know about you. I've told them about the science project you helped with, about how you're learning to cook Korean food, about how you're terrible at video games, but you try anyway. You told them I'm terrible at video games? Because you are, but it's cute. Come on. She pulled him toward her friends, introduced him, not as the powerful Kang Taejun, just as my dad. He was grilled with questions about his work, his life, what it was like being Maya's father. He answered honestly, openly. Let them see he was human, not some untouchable figure, just a dad trying his best. After the party, after everyone left, Maya and Taejun sat together. Thank you for today, for letting me have friends over, for being normal. You're welcome. I liked meeting them, seeing your world. They liked you too, said you're not what they expected. What did they expect? Someone scary, cold, distant, like the reputation says. But you're not that. You're warm, funny, real. That's who I am with you, who you let me be. Good, because that's who I want you to be, not the boss, not the powerful man, just my dad. I can do that, every day, for the rest of my life. They sat in comfortable silence. A year ago, they'd been strangers, connected by biology but separated by circumstance. Now they were family, real family, built not on obligation, but on choice, on effort, on love. Maya's walking into his office hadn't just been an interruption, it had been a rescue. She'd saved him from a life of isolated power, from emotional emptiness, from dying alone and unfulfilled. She'd given him purpose, connection, a reason to be better, a reason to be human, and he would spend the rest of his life being worthy of that gift, being the father she deserved, being the man Amara had believed he could be, being someone whose life mattered not because of what he built, but because of who he loved. His hidden daughter had walked into his office, changed everything, saved him, and given him a life worth living. That was the real story, not the shock of discovery, but the beauty of transformation, not the disruption, but the redemption, not the hidden truth, but the revealed love. That's what happened when Maya walked into Kang Taejun's office. A father was born, a man was saved, a family was built, and love proved stronger than any empire.